To make the pastry, slice the vanilla pod in half. Then scrape out all of the seeds and discard the pod. Place the flour in a mixing bowl and add the icing sugar and the butter. Then add the vanilla seeds. Mix the ingredients together using your hands until the mixture resembles fine breadcrumbs. Now make a well in the centre of the mixture and then crack one whole egg into it. To make the dough, break up the egg with your fingers and mix the ingredients together, using your hand until they begin to form a dough. Dust the work surface lightly with flour, place the dough on the flour and begin kneading the mixture. After a few minutes, the dough will become smooth, but be careful not to overmix as the dough will become too hard. Now wrap the dough in cling film. And place in a fridge to rest and cool for at least 1 hour. After 1 hour, take the pastry out and remove the cling film. Lightly dust the work surface and knead the dough for about 30 seconds until it becomes smooth again. Now roll out the pastry until it's 3 to 4 millimeters thick, turning and flouring it occasionally. Cut the pastry into 4 equal pieces. Place a piece of pastry in each tart tin and make sure you push the pastry into the edges of the tins carefully. Now trim off the excess pastry off each tin before you put them on a baking tray and chill them in the fridge for 30 minutes. To make the pastry cream, split the vanilla pod and remove the seeds. Crack 1 whole egg into a large mixing bowl. Then separate 3 yolks into the mixing bowl, discarding the egg whites. Now add the castor sugar to the eggs and whisk until they are thoroughly combined. Add the corn flour and whisk until smooth. Next, pour the milk, cream, vanilla seeds and pod into a small saucepan and bring them to the boil on a high heat. When it begins to boil, remove the saucepan from the heat, then pour half the mixture onto the eggs and flour. Continue to whisk as you gradually pour in the remaining mixture. Now pour the complete mixture back into the saucepan on a low heat and beat the mixture vigorously until it is thick and smooth. Then turn off the heat. Put the mixture in a clean mixing bowl and remove the vanilla pod. Cover the mixture with cling film, piercing it with a knife to allow the steam to escape and leave it to cool. To make the frangipan, place the icing sugar and butter in a large mixing bowl and cream them together using a silicone spatula. Now crack 1 egg into a small bowl and beat it with a fork. Split the egg into 2 equal halves, putting 1 half into a jug and discarding the other half. Crack 2 eggs into the jug and beat the eggs together with a fork. Now, gradually add the beaten eggs into the creamed butter and sugar, beating the mixture as you go. Continue to mix until you have a soft, fluffy cream mixture. Now, add the almonds and flour and mix them together. Take the tart tins out of the fridge and divide the frangipane mixture equally between them. Use the back of a spoon to smooth the mixture out. Then cook the tarts in a preheated oven for 10 to 15 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade, 350 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. After 10 to 15 minutes, remove the tarts from the oven and allow them to cool. The tarts should have risen and spring back when you gently touch them. To decorate the tarts, remove the cling film from the pastry cream and stir it gently. Unfold a disposable piping bag and spoon the cream into it. Snip the end off and then pipe the cream into the centre of the tarts. Remove the stalk from the nectarine. Cut it in half. Then cut around the centre stone and remove it. Chop the nectarine into thin wedges and add it to the tart. Peel the skin from the mango and cut a large slice around the stone to allow you to cut it into thin slices, then add 3 slices to the tartlet. Prepare the kiwi by removing the ends, then peeling it before cutting it into thin slices. Simply halve the strawberries and add 2 slices of kiwi and half a strawberry to each tartlet. Add a couple of blackberries, raspberries and blueberries to finish. The finishing touch is to make an apricot glaze for the tartlets. Pour the water into a medium saucepan and add the apricot jam and sugar. Turn the heat to medium and bring to the boil, stirring occasionally. Boil the mixture for 2 minutes until all the jam has dissolved and you have a syrup consistency. Strain the apricot glaze through a sieve before you brush the tartlets with the glaze using a pastry brush.